Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. A very good day to you. I don't know whether it's morning, it's evening, but anyway, depending on wherever location you are, definitely right now. I'm here this afternoon with Professor Manyora, and obviously we are more than glad to welcome you to yet another interesting episode of the Candid Talk. My name, as usual, is Evan Sokinyi. Such a pleasure to have you on board. Prof, how are you?
Good.
Still looking at how things are taking place within the country.
In this beautiful country.
In this beautiful country.
Yes.
But I know there's a certain number of times that you've said that we do not have a country here.
There was a country.
There was a country.
Yes.
But now things have turned haywire. Where did we get it wrong anyway?
Well, there was a country, that's all. Yeah.
There was a country.
Yes.
Not anymore.
No.
Now, let us look at, in as much as there was a country, but then we are still in this country and it's ours. A little bit perplexed with the kind of damning revelations that we saw involving the National Health Insurance Fund, that is NHIF. And you witnessed the kind of haste that was revealed that is taking place in this sector. And we've seen how the common man in this country has been fraudulently denied, perhaps rather taken money from, in some sort of very kind of bad kind of stances. Now looking at what was taking place in Meru, and now here we are. Definitely I saw the NTV give it a title of "We Still God Heals." I mean, is that where we are as a country right now in terms of help?
As a country, there was a country. I have maintained this, that NHIF is a fraud. I've said it. But I mean, some of the management have called me and told me, "No, please stop saying that. NHIF is a fraud." I've said it. The way it is structured, the ecosystem in which it operates, I'll be shocked if theft is not its middle name. So when you see those things that are being revealed, that's what goes on every day. NHIF is a fraud. And you can't reform it. No.
Okay.
No, you cannot reform it. You cannot reform NHIF. So when I hear CS Nakumi just suspending people and saying what will she reform? You can't reform NHIF because it's a fraud. Genetically, it is a fraud. NHIF is a systemic impossibility. You can't change it. No. People craft all manner of small things, call them hospitals, get registered, and then they get money from NHIF. It's just a fraud.
We all do agree as a country that we've got a problem actually when it comes to healthcare, accessing quality and good healthcare in this country. We've seen all the kind of attempts that have been brought forth by the government to address the same. But now I'm a little bit interested in what the president said during the campaigns. Actually, he said categorically that when he gets to power, then definitely all Kenyans, he'll ensure that each and every Kenyan is actually covered under the National Health Insurance Fund. That is, right now we are yet to see whether that is yet to happen. But now, something that you are calling a fraud, as it is right now, with these revelations that we're revealing right now, do you then think Kenyans will still get that kind of encouragement to continue contributing to that kit?
Even if the president made sure that whichever way he will does it, that everyone is a member of NHIF, it is still a fraud. It will still not work. It's a no-brainer. NHIF is a fraud. That system cannot work. It's a flawed system, ab initio. So the question that must then be put on this table is, does Kenya want to solve its health challenges?
That is what I'm asking, actually.
Because if we want to provide health to the citizens of this country, it cannot be through NHIF. Yet we must solve the health challenges. Others, we are all going to die. Look at what cancer is doing to the country. It's ravaging the country. Look at communicable diseases. Look at malaria. This country requires to pay attention to health. And we purport that we think we can do that through a fraud like NHIF. No, foolish. I have argued. The simplest way to solve health issues in this country is to revert what was there when I was a child.
So what was there when you were a child?
There was King George Hospital. By the time I was a child, it was called Kenyatta National Hospital, referral hospital. There was Madari Referral Hospital. There was then spinal injury for those at the national level. Then we had provincial hospitals in every province. Then we had district hospitals. Then we had sub-district hospitals. Sub-districts like Vihiga, Nyamira, Nyambane, Makueni, under the bigger districts. Then we had health centers in every location. Then we had a few dispensaries. And people just walked there and walked out. You just go there, get treated and come out. Then some funny boys from IMF came and told us, oh, structural adjustment programs, or let people pay as they get services, and we listened to them. And the public health care system collapsed. And then, look, lucky enough, because on top of what we inherited and what we constructed immediately after independence, Moi came up with the so-called Nyayo words. So basically speaking, in terms of physical space and physical facilities, immobile buildings and what have you, we more or less have enough. What we need to do is just to step up equipping the hospitals, number one. Training healthcare workers and taking care of their welfare. And then Kenyans will just walk in, walk out. By the way, looking at how much money NHIF has, looking how much money the government allocates to health, you can safely conclude that money is enough. It's enough.
It's enough.
It's enough to provide a walk-in, walk-out healthcare service.
There is free
quality healthcare. We don't need an extra cent. What we might then need, and I'm a champion of this, what we might then need after that is to ensure that we have a Kenyatta National Hospital in every county. Beba tu Kenyatta National, ngoa tu vile iko yote, enda weka Vihiga. The way it is, it can be done in only 10 years. In 10 short years, every one of the 47 counties can have a Kenyatta National Hospital. The way it is, if not better.
Well equipped with everything there.
So that what we now have as the good, best hospitals in the counties can drop down to the sub-county. And what is at the sub-county can now drop down to the location or ward level. So that at the end of the day, you do not need to walk more than a kilometer to access health in this country, which is free and the quality. But trying to tell me you can achieve universal health care through a fraudulent thing like NHIF, you are either a fraudster yourself or you are an imbecile. Yes.
So therefore, are you therefore trying to say that schemes such as now the NHIF are just but conduits for corruption in this country?
Of course. What else? They're just for... You see, there are two things there. That is either, there are about two things. Either somebody can't understand the situation that you cannot solve our health challenges through this cheap way of thinking of NHIF. That's one possibility, and it's quite a possibility that people can't see the situation properly, analyze it, and provide the answers. Or we are so money-minded, so primitive in our pursuit of money, that we must have facilities like NHIF to help us to steal. That's the second reason. The third reason is we could be getting the worst examples from the West. There are big countries in the world where you'll die, you can't access health because you don't have insurance. Yet your country has enough money to throw around in the whole world. You get it?
I get you.
You can live in a country that is so rich. If you look at the annual books of the country, the money it gives out in aid, in support for other useless things, is 100 times more than that country requires to give free health care. They can't do it because of capitalism, the capitalistic trap. That if you went that way, then you are distorting capitalism. You must allow the big farmers to make money, the pharmaceuticals. and the other players in the industry and the insurance companies. That if you give free health care, despite the ability that you can afford it, then you are distorting capitalism. So those are the three explanations. I don't know where we fall.
So
Take your pick.
My question now here comes to, why is it that you constantly maintain this kind of statement that schemes such as the NHIF cannot actually work?
They can't work. Have they worked before? They can't work. Why are you using the wrong route? That money, I've told you, is enough to equip our hospitals, pay our health care workers, doctors, nurses, and the rest, pay them well. I grew up knowing that a young doctor lives in a doctor's flat so that he concentrates on treating patients, not running up and down in locum from clinic to clinic to make ends meet, because somebody has already taken care of his accommodation. And there's a canteen. And he's a young man or woman. He wants to grow in the career, come back for his masters and so on and so forth. He takes 10 years to grow his career. But that time he's ready for his own mortgage. These are things you should be doing. And then, because of that, then we are expecting people who live in temperate countries where there are no mosquitoes, leave alone malaria, to come and discover a cure for malaria. As I speak to you today, 42 countries in the world have walked out of malaria permanently. They were determined, including China, and they had targets by the year 1987 who will eradicate malaria, and they have done so. They have done so. So, and that's the country. That's the kind of thinking I'm talking about. That this country requires thinking out of situations we are in.
Definitely.
Because if we don't do so, health is going to become such a big burden to this country that we shall do nothing else. Yes.
Now, let me get you back to the action that was taken by the health CS, definitely Susanna Kumisha, who went ahead and actually made sure that she dealt with the regional directors of NHIF, all those officers whom she thinks are culpable for that matter. But then now I'm looking at this. Is this the best way to go about the problem and perhaps solve the problem of people who are actually preying on gullible, innocent Kenyans?
Either Nakumicha doesn't have the brain to do the job, and I may not be surprised. She doesn't have the capacity. I may not be surprised that she may not have the capacity. Or she's just a pawn in the game.
But
it is possible she's a... Because you see, when you say you have suspended people, I want to ask you a question. A man who has that clinic that has swindled hundreds of millions of shillings in Meru, does he have the capacity to go and get money from NHIF? Does he have that capacity?
Not really.
Does he?
Not really.
Who paid him? People from?
The government?
Are they still working?
Of course.
Are they free citizens enjoying their lives? Are they living expensive lifestyles?
So
no, answer yes or no.
Of course they
so what
are.
is Nakumija doing? She's doing nothing. But these guys did not walk to NHIF and pay themselves. There are
They were
people
paid
there who
by the
paid
government.
them.
And
And as they were paying them, they knew things were not adding up. You can see this is not adding up. And even at the speed at which some of the payment is done, I've not seen, but this is common stuff. Even the speed, the number of things that and processes and procedures that are overlooked in paying these monies tells you it is NHIF that is paying that money. And if there's people who pay that money are still sitting on those desks, on those chairs, they are still going to 5-star hotels every day for lunch. They are holidaying every weekend at the coast and Naivasha. Their children are attending the best schools, the most expensive schools in the country. So what is Nakumija telling us?
definitely, when it comes
So what is Nakumija telling us? Please tell me. I don't understand. She's a lawyer like me. I must protect her. She's my daughter. But what is she telling me? She has to look for people like you to talk, not me. Yeah. To me, I will not listen to her. Yeah.
Definitely, we've had this problem with our healthcare in this country. Definitely, people are saying that our country is capable of offering to the citizens free and accessible healthcare, but that has not come to pass.
Yes.
Of course, we've seen the insurances they are being brought in. But then, now my question here also comes about. We've also witnessed this in the past, where people are talking of them going to the hospital. Those who even have been using the NHIF, definitely insurance scheme for that matter, but then they're sent back. Reason being, the government has not dispersed the right amount for NHIF, actually their shared due. So my question would therefore be that, do you think that perhaps our government would be at a position of even holding money that is supposed to be
Which government? Which
for
government? Which
people's
government?
health?
The same government is starving the same NHIF by giving business, big business, to private insurers. Teachers, police, you've seen that kind of thing. You take that big chunk of business from NHIF and you give it to private business. How committed can you be? It's nonsense. Though they can talk to you people, not me. I don't listen to such a stupidity.
So that is the country where we live in.
That business alone you get from NHIF, police business, teachers, what have you. That is the hugest business. That will be the hugest source of money to NHIF. You take it away from NHIF. You quickly change the laws. And you want me to listen to you and believe there's anything you are saying? You are saying nothing. Just hot air. But these things, it will come to pass.
Now my question is this: all these people, our leaders and all those, are they also covered under the same scheme?
How?
Do they also depend
When they
on the
cough, they go to
NHIF?
South Africa. When they cough, they go to Dubai. They go to India. When they just cough. A cough. There was a classic example of a governor, something hit him on the nose. I think something. Isaac Ruto. A bruise. He was flown to South Africa. That is the country you have. Your leaders don't get treated here. I was on TV, somebody was debating with me, our health facility. I told him, if your daughter-in-law wants to give birth, can they give birth in a public hospital? You minister. I asked them, the person, can they give birth? That is the test of whether it works or not. If you want to know that the schools are good in this country, ask a minister, Machogu, can your daughter or granddaughter go to any of these public schools? Bamachoge Secondary School. Can they go there? The answer is no. Ask them, if you are Museveni, can your daughter-in-law deliver in Uganda? The answer is no. There will be a chartered plane to take Museveni's daughter-in-law to go and deliver from the UK or somewhere like that. So you have your answers. Nothing works. Because the people have access to the best medical care, leading to situations of medical tourism. India is earning huge, substantive amounts of money from Kenya. Everybody's going to India. People go there and then they discover that what they thought was a hospital, like Kenyatta or like Aga Khan, is just somebody's bungalow. Just a bungalow. You just talk to a doctor in a house, a small compound. They look at you, you go from your hotel, come for examination, 3-4 days, they prepare you for theater. He goes and pays for theater in a hospital. He operates on you. You stay there 3-4 days, you go back to your hotel. Or they ask you, advise you to book an apartment nearby. And they are getting money from this country. Yeah.
I was having this conversation with a friend, and it was like saying, literally, something like NHIF, there are even those people who are not employed by the government, but they do work so hard to contribute to that kitty.
Yes.
And then this is definitely an insurance scheme. Should they, is it in order for them to go to the hospital in order to seek services that should be catered for by this very insurance scheme, only to be turned back? Yet they do pay that money.
It's bad.
On a day, on a
it
monthly
works.
basis.
You know it works.
Failure to which,
I was in hospital. I was released last week. NHIF paid a bit of my bed. It works kidogo kidogo. But that's not reason to think we must operate with the worst because it works once in a while. No. When I tell people, say, oh, this thing is helping. Yes, it's helping, I know. But must we work with the worst when we have access to the best? You get it? Because you have your NHIF card. One day you go, they do MRI for you, it is accepted. Next time they say, no, this one. NHIF is not covering this. Next time you go, you do this. Next time this not. Then you have cancer. Then there are restrictions. Then no, this NHIF can do this. Then it cannot do this. Oh, not this hospital. Look, no, so it can't work. It can't simply work. And therefore, let us put our resources as a nation. Let's buy the bullet. Let's not do business with the health of Kenyans. Let's not allow ourselves as a people to do business with the health of the nation. You get it?
I get it.
Let us do that which works in our circumstances A majority of Kenyans, 99%, 90% of Kenyans cannot afford health insurance or any insurance for that matter. So this is not a country where you want to do business with the people in terms of health, because they can't afford. Americans can afford health. They can pay for insurance. The salaries in the developed world are such that you have sufficient money from your salary to buy yourself a health cover. How many Kenyans can buy themselves an insurance cover, which can say, if you are sick, you can be admitted, and the insurance can cater for your treatment to the tune of 6 million. How many can afford that kind of insurance? Na ugonjwa haina heshima na mfuko. Ugonjwa inaandamana na mfuko ya mtu.
Definitely not.
Hakuna. So that's why insurance works in countries where people have incomes, where they can purchase insurance that can take care of them. We live in a country where people don't have money to buy an insurance. So what happens in a country like this? The government provides free health care as one of the basics. Another reason why these things are related to corruption. They are linked to corruption. Why do you think people want to steal? Even innocent people who would not have stolen. There are 3 basics that will make you steal. If you have sick people in your home and you can't do anything because you don't have money, if you went back and only your signature was required for somebody to do something bad, for a Chinese, his road, the shoddy job to be approved, you'll sign, you'll approve it. Then you can take care of health. If your children can't go to school, you'll be corrupt. You'll be tempted to get money. And housing. These are basics which your government takes care of, and transport. That's why you find in many cities, transport is highly subsidized, if not free. You get it? So that the other things you can do with your money. Because the government has provided free education. The government has provided affordable housing, affordable transport. The government has provided free quality health care. I'm telling you, the number of corrupt people in the country will drop. Pop. Because sometimes people steal out of necessity. So you reduce that necessity by catering for those things that recur every day, that you come face to face with every single day as a parent. You must take your child to school. Okay? When they are sick, you must take them to hospital. So if government has catered for those ones, wanakuatia tu chakula ya mtoto yako. Not everybody loves money. I am a living example. Money doesn't mean to me what it means to other people. And I think I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone. There are many people to whom money doesn't mean what it means to other Kenyans.
And you believe that
and therefore, such a people may not steal anybody's money. But they may be forced to steal because of the necessities of life. So we reduce that by providing quality health care free to every citizen.
And you believe the government is capable of doing
We
that?
have all the money. I've told you, even the money that we give to NHIF and the budgetary allocation on health is more than we need. Yeah.
It's more than enough.
Because you see, we only produce about 20% of all our pharmaceutical needs. 20%. 80% of what we need in terms of pharmaceuticals is imported. We can reduce that to 40%. So that 60% is produced here. Why? If you look at a bottle of those medicine we take, even the country where it comes from, you have never heard of it. Kyrgyzstan, if such a stupid countries can produce medicine, why wouldn't we produce even cough syrup, Panadol, paracetamol? So if we reduce the amount of medical supplies, equipment, hardware, what have you, drugs, if we can reduce by producing these things locally here, then the money we are spending on health is more than we need to provide quality health care freely to the citizens of this country.
And you maintain that NHIF is a fraud?
NHIF is a fraud which we must dismantle.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do hope that the government is listening, definitely, because it's a little bit sad to see a normal Kenyan work so hard to raise money, pay to a kitty, and then at the end of the day, this money does not actually help this person at the point of need. we also do hope and pray that those who prey on gullible Kenyans and all people to steal from them, like what we witnessed recently in Meru, will actually stop, and that we should go to the right direction in terms of health in this country. And we believe, as Professor puts it here, that the government is able to provide free, accessible, and quality healthcare to Kenyans. Till we have this conversation again, have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.